So as of now, the Switch is pretty much here. After all the rumors and all the talk, in a couple days, a lot of gamers are going to have their hands on Nintendo's newest machine. So I thought it was be a good time to take a look at the Switch and see if you maybe should get it and what chances it has at long-term success. So what I wanted to look at first was its price point of $300, which is a little pricey but not too expensive. I think it's a really solid price point. As coming in lower might imply that your console was on the cheaper side. Now the Xbox and the PlayStation 4 are cheaper right now, but I think it was important for Nintendo to establish that this is something worth the money. The mistake I think they made though is not including a title that shows off what all this fancy controllers can do. There's a game that's coming out launch day called 1-2 Switch, which they clearly should have included in the game, well, with the system, kind of like they did with Wii Sports and the Wii. That's a bit of a misstep, but I still think the price point is good. Now, the Switch itself, I mean, its portability is what I think could be the best part about it. Power-wise, it looks like it can play the current games just at a lower resolution. And so while that's not great, that it's not the most powerful console, with it being portable, it's also nowhere near as important. I'm not a stickler for graphics. I mean, you want to be able to have your games running and you want them to look nice, and 720 looks nice. I mean, it's not 4K, it's not, the best of the best, but I think they have a good PowerPoint for its portability. In terms of games, now that's where I'm a little worried about it, especially initially. I mean, of course it has Breath of the Wild coming first out the gate, and if you're a Zelda fan, it looks like that's a must-play game. I mean, that's a huge launch game. But outside of that, I mean, between now and the holiday season, things look kind of barren, and Nintendo hasn't done a great job of explaining why you should have this system based on the games in the first few, in this first year. I think there's a remake of Mario Kart 8 coming out in the summer and a sequel to Splatoon. And these were two Wii U games that, many people didn't have the Wii U. And while they're good games to have, I don't know if that's going to appeal to the mass market. And, I don't even know if I could really recommend it to people to be like, oh, do I need to get a Switch now? I might say no if you're not into Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, its portability is still a strength, and the virtual console can really help it in the games department. I mean, if they could get those GameCube games on there, those Wii and those Wii U games on there, then the reasoning for having it kind of goes up, significantly. I'm hoping that with it having a decent bit of power, that third parties come and support it and put their games on there. Because if I have a chance to play certain games portable and get the full experience, then I might consider going to the Switch first. Like if the Switch was around when Final Fantasy 15 came out, I probably would have got it for the Switch, despite the fact that it probably wouldn't have looked as good on there. I wouldn't have minded because I'll be able to take it on the go. And I'm hoping that that's the approach that Nintendo's taking to it. Make sure those third parties come there and combine their games with their first party games, which are pretty much always excellent. But sometimes if you don't have that third party support, the first parties just can't carry the load, no matter how talented Nintendo is. I mean, this is clearly a superior version of the Wii U, and I think the system can work. It came out the gate with a great presentation, and then in January it had a pretty horrible presentation. But I'm still confident that it's a good piece of hardware. Nintendo has to handle their business though on all the other fronts. They have to nail the eShop. They have to nail the online functionality. And they really got to nail these games, especially the third-party ones. I'm not into Call of Duty. I'm not into a ton of sports games. But I understand the importance of having them on there. Nintendo really needs to nail it with this one, as they haven't had a good track record with consoles recently. I mean, the Wii was a runaway success, but in a different way, in a very gimmicky way. It almost did as much harm as good, as it made Nintendo seem like a toy maker more than a game maker. Now, I know they used to be a toy maker, but that's not really the point. For them to succeed, they have to put their best foot forward with this. And I think they have on the technology point. I'm just hoping that they pull it together on the games front. So if you plan on getting the Switch, or if you don't plan on getting the Switch, leave me a comment, let me know. If you do get it, let me know how it feels to play it. I definitely plan on getting it within a month or two. I had it pre-ordered, but I'm not sure. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Nintendo does, because they are a pillar of gaming. It can't just be PlayStation and Xbox. They don't offer what Nintendo offers. Nintendo, when it comes to making games, have a magic. And the fact that they're willing to innovate and come up with all these control schemes and keep pushing the envelope, even though it's not always profitable, I applaud them for it, and I want to see them succeed. I'm hoping that companies bring their games to it. Imagine a Yakuza game on the go. I mean, that probably won't happen, but it's just an example. There are a lot of amazing, huge experiences that might be more manageable if you could take those games on the go. I'm pulling for Nintendo. The more companies that are viable, I think the better the gaming industry will be. So until next time, peace.